Welcome back to this already the final segment of The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Yeah, more mayhem surrounding Obamacare. It's the saga that never ends. It is the as the stomach churns. That's what's happening in Washington, D.C. with Obamacare. I loved what one of the guys here up at the station, Brian, told me. He said, I just found this great photo of Barack Obama with a Burger King crown on his head, because he is, the king of the Whoppers. And so, I love that. So anyway, I know I need to grow up. But this debate continues, and more things are being revealed. And as the story drags out, we find more scandal, more corruption, more crony capitalism, etc. Now stories of a bailout. This is FoxNews.com. Thanks to them for this content, and also Senator Marco Rubio talking about it.
Share in the blame in the Obamacare rollout debacle. The president was asked yesterday what he's learned from all of this so far, and here's part of what he said.
We should have anticipated that would create a rockier rollout than if Democrats and Republicans were both invested in success. One of the problems we've had is one side of Capitol Hill is invested in failure, and that makes, I think, the kind of iterative process of fixing glitches as they come up and fine-tuning the law more challenging. But I'm optimistic that we can get it fixed.
Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio joins me now. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You heard what the president said. He thinks that you and those on your side are invested in failure, and that you're going to make fixing this pretty hard.
Yeah, it's one of the silliest statements that I've heard made so far about the law. There's nobody's fault on the Republican side that the exchange website isn't working. It's nobody's fault on the Republican side that millions of people are in fear of losing their existing coverage. And it's no one's fault that this thing is headed in the direction that it's going. This is the way the law was designed. It's going to fail because the design doesn't work. And that's what we've been saying now for years leading up to this point. We've been accused of simply being against whatever the president's for, but in fact, what we pointed to over and over again for years is how this law was not just destined to fail, but destined to hurt people. And now it's happening, and he doesn't want anyone to say, I told you so. That's what this is about.
There are those who think that the president wants it to fail. You hear those theories that he really wants a single-payer plan, and maybe that's why some would posit, even though he knew the website was in trouble, which we now know the White House was aware of before it rolled out, despite the fact that the president said he really wasn't aware of it, that really what he wants is to go to the single-payer model. Do you think so?
Well, let me tell you, if you think Obamacare is a mess, just wait till you see single payer. I mean, at least there's still some private companies involved here trying to inject some common sense now and then. If the government becomes the only payer, what you're going to have is just basically a massive government-run program that will have all the problems that massive government always brings with it: fraud, mismanagement, waste, lack of responsiveness. So if that's his plan, boy, I think they've got some surprises coming. I don't think that's anything the American people would ever come close to supporting.
So there's some evidence out there that more people are signing up on the state exchanges, and that the numbers are improving somewhat. They're vastly lowered expectations, as anybody who looks at the numbers can easily tell. But last night I heard you on with Bill O'Reilly, and you said, give it 8 weeks. Democrats, some have already come around. We saw 39 come around on the House side. You said give it 8 weeks, and they're going to be coming around in droves, essentially. You think? Well,
yeah, because I think you already see it in the body language. They're very nervous. They see the law's not working. They're starting to get the emails and the phone calls because it's starting to impact people. Up to this point, Obamacare was a theory. It was some law that passed that one day was going to start impacting people. Now it is actually impacting people. It is costing them their existing insurance. It is raising their premiums. It is creating disruptions in the economy. And people are responding to that. And the Democrats, especially those that are up for election in 2014, they're starting to feel the pressure about it. And I do think that over the next few weeks, especially as they go home and interact with more people, you're going to see a very different, I think, Democratic attitude towards this. Yeah. You're already seeing it now.
Interesting. We'll see if you're right about that over the course of the next few weeks. Another issue that has come up, and it has to do with something that was in this bill all along. You talk about the pain that the American people are feeling in some aspects with all of this, but the insurance companies long ago locked in a deal for themselves that if it became too onerous for them to pay to cover all these people, that there was going to be some kickback, so to speak. The government would sort of give them a subsidy of their own to make sure that they could cover their costs. What do you plan to do about that?
Well, we have a bill that basically says that you can't subsidize or bail out insurance companies if they can't make it work under Obamacare. We think that's the right thing to do for people. It's unfair. We don't need any more bailouts in this country, and particularly on Obamacare. If it needs to be bailed out in order to make it work, then it tells you why it should be repealed. And so the law simply prevents taxpayer dollars going towards bailing out insurance companies, many of whom, by the way, were cooperative and supportive of this law when it passed. Now, of course, it isn't working out the way they thought or hoped it would, and are looking for relief potentially. So we just don't think that's right, and I don't think most people think that's right.
All right, Senator, we'll see if you're right about that and about Democrats coming around in a few weeks. Always good to have you here, sir.
Thank
you very much.
All right, that's reason 494 why we should not have Obamacare. We're going to keep on hitting on more and more reasons in the weeks and months to come. We need to repeal this. We need to repeal every congressman and senator who voted for it. We need to kick all of these liars out, because that is exactly what they are. They lied, and they supported the president in a lie on what I think is a criminal act on the entire country. So we'll be monitoring this more and more. We're going to be bringing you great content. If you got information on this you want us to check out, send it to info@usabusinessradio.com. That's info@usabusinessradio.com. Until tomorrow, I am Kevin Price. I hope you have a great rest of your day, but spend it wisely right here on this station.